2-bath, really spacious open floor plan. The master has its own nice full bath as well. We have gorgeous refinished hardwood floor. We've spent so much time and effort to make sure these just really pop. We got the shader cabinets that fit the style of kind of the house on the outside. So we give a little bit of that, older style with a lot of the modern touches that we have. All new HVAC system, new electrical, updated plumbing, and just laid it out in a format that made a lot of sense for a family. In addition to that, we have this huge lot, and we actually have a space on the side of the house that allows someone to park an RV. So we try to give people some options on how they can use it. So there's lots of space for people to have their dogs, their kids running around. And in addition to that, they can have a relative or an extra rental in the back. There's another house completely, one bedroom, very nice size one bedroom in fact, that's been updated as well. And then there's a huge garage and a little office kind of attached to it. So this home has a lot of unique features and we're really proud of it. Here at the Nassau project, there's 3 important lessons I want to talk about. First is how to deal with really extreme city violations. Number 2, kind of the more fun one, is how to find market opportunities where properties aren't even on the MLS or even listed. And number 3 is how to make sure that you pick the right contractor's bid. Regarding off-market properties, that's actually probably the most difficult thing to do in this business is the acquisition side. That's what I specialize in, and that's what I really, really love, is being able to find a great deal. You don't always find a great deal just by looking at what comes up on the internet or what comes on the multiple listing service. What's important is that you actually reach out to people in the areas that are doing business where you want to buy properties and houses and announce to them, hey, I want to buy a house here, and you follow up with them and let them know that you have the ability to actually buy that house. So the way I found this property is I actually went to some other properties that were available and the guy got bid out, but I said, hey, this is what I'm looking to buy, this is what I like, and I like challenging and difficult projects. And lo and behold, he said, hey, I got a challenging one for you. So he brought over 17 homes for me to potentially buy. We put a bid on every one of them. It's from one single family trust. And guess what? We didn't get one offer accepted on any of them except for the house that had the most challenging situation. This house had so many city violations, it was extremely expensive to be able to get through everything. But that's how you find market opportunities, is by following up with people. It's by reaching out and saying, hey listen, I want to buy this and this is what I'm looking to spend and this is how I can perform and this is what I'll do to help you out as well. So in the end, one of the gentlemen that brought us this deal, it worked out really well. We had a ton of work to try to do the minutia of all these other projects, but we finally found this one and it looks like it's working out. The city violations at this property were tremendous. We had so many challenges. We actually were in a program that's specially just for houses that are either abandoned, so beyond repair that the city actually has to come in and put out a fence, lock up the windows just to make sure that it's safe, that nobody comes inside. In this particular property, we bought it just before they were about to do that, and they were going to hit us with such a huge bill. We'd already paid well over $17,000 in fees before we bought the property. Now we equated that into what we were going to do as far as the overall deal, but they were threatening us with another $17,000 bill if we didn't put a fence around it and we didn't board up the windows. Well, we showed up with building permits, they still made us put up the fence, but we dealt with it and it all fit the economics. It's super important when you buy a property to know what liabilities come along with it. Just because you buy that house doesn't mean that you're not going to be forced to pay for the violations. And many times you're buying them from the banks and they make you sign all these documents saying that you're at risk, you do your own diligence. Short sales, let's say you go try to sue the owner later on for not disclosing to you. Good luck collecting and spending all those legal fees to try to go after them. So up front, do yourself a favor. Go down to building safety, go to the county, go to the health department. You're going to save yourself a lot of money, or find out if it's a deal that's really just not worth it. A lesson that we learned here in Nassau is to not always take the lowest bid. It delayed our project a bit. What I really feel is important is whenever you get into a project is create a detailed scope of work, meaning every item that you want to get done with the house. Don't leave anything out. And give it to every contractor you give and make sure that they price out every major piece of it. So that way when you're looking at the contract, you're looking apples to apples. So that way you find out if somebody's really high in one area or really low in the other. And it also allows you to make sure that they've really taken the full concept of what you need to get done at that project. Otherwise, they may leave things out. Like, they didn't include the fencing. Well, you wrote down the fencing here and you want to make sure in the bid you see that they included all the fencing. Or, oh, you didn't talk about HVAC, which is air conditioning. Well, it's here in the contract and it's here in the bid. So otherwise, what will end up happening is you'll get somebody in here and they might take a lot longer because they're just trying to finish it. They're working the weekends by themselves instead of having a crew of 5 or 6 people working. It can sometimes take years for some bigger projects. So it's really important to make sure that you take the bid from the person who's going to be the most qualified, and it's going to work within your budget or scale back your scope of work. And here, it all turned out well at Nassau. We have a gorgeous home. It took us a little bit longer, but for us, speed's important. And so I hope you can learn from a lot of these lessons. And I'm excited that you came out and watched this project and come out to the next ones.